Hello, hope you're doing well and welcome to my Smite 2 Poseidon guide. Poseidon, the god of the seas, is a versatile magical god with a high burst damage kit and excellent crowd control. Get ready to make waves as I teach you absolutely everything you need to know about this tide turning god. Poseidon offers powerful zone, crowd control, high mobility, and the ability to dominate fights when played correctly. Poseidon can be played in multiple roles including mid, jungle, and even ADC in some situations, making him a flexible pick. Whether you're catching enemies off guard with your massive burst damage or outmaneuvering them with tide management, Poseidon rewards those who master his playstyle. Prepare to flood your enemies with damage as we dive into everything Poseidon can do. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my future Smite 2 guides, as I'll be covering all of Smite 2's characters. Also check out my Discord server if you have any questions or want to join a friendly, non-toxic Smite community. Now let's dive into Poseidon's abilities. Poseidon's passive is Changing Tides, which grant him increased movement speed and bonus damage to his abilities based on his tide meter. Landing basic attacks builds tide. While using abilities reduces it, managing your tide effectively is key to maximizing Poseidon's burst damage and mobility. Poseidon's first ability, Tidal Surge, summons a wave that deals magical damage and knocks the enemies back. When Trident is active, this ability sends out 2 additional waves, making it even more devastating. Use it for poke, wave clear, and crowd control in both laning and teamfight scenarios. His second ability, Trident, boosts Poseidon's attack speed, movement speed, and basic attack damage. While active, Poseidon's basic attacks fire additional shots that apply ability damage and tide generation. This ability is central to Poseidon's auto attack and hybrid builds, and it's key to chaining combos effectively. Whirlpool is Poseidon's third ability, creating an area of effect vortex that cripples, slows, and deals damage over time to enemies caught within it. This ability is excellent for zoning, locking down targets, and setting up for the release of the Kraken, or other abilities. Poseidon's ultimate, Release the Kraken, summons the iconic Kraken to deal massive magical damage and crowd control. Enemies in the center of the Kraken are stunned and knocked up, while those on the edges are slowed. The ultimate is Poseidon's signature ability and can turn the tide of any fight. Use it to secure kills, initiate team fights, or punish mispositioned enemies. Now that you know all of Poseidon's abilities, let's talk about how you will be using them in your games. Poseidon thrives when you weave basic attacks between abilities, as this ensures maximum damage output while keeping your tide meter high. Here are 3 key combos to master. Trident Auto Attack, Tidal Surge Auto Attack. This simple combo is effective for poking enemies and trading damage in lane. Open with Tidal Surge, land an auto attack, and activate Trident to follow up with an enhanced basic attack. Second is Trident Auto Attack, Whirlpool Auto Attack, Tidal Surge Auto Attack. This combo maximizes Poseidon's zoning and burst potential. Start with Trident for boosted basic attacks, then lock down your target with a Whirlpool. Follow up with Tidal Surge to deal even more damage and keep the pressure on with further auto attacks. And finally, your third one-shot combo. Trident Auto Attack, Whirlpool Auto Attack, Release the Kraken Auto Attack, Tidal Surge Auto Attack. This all-in combo is designated to obliterate a single target. Start with Trident to ramp up your auto attacks, use Whirlpool to lock them down, and finish with Release the Kraken for massive burst damage. Follow up with Tidal Surge to clean up and secure any kills, and always remember to add the auto attacks in between. Mastering these combos will help you dominate fights and maintain high damage output throughout the game. Remember to adapt your combos to each situation, and always weave auto attacks between abilities. If you want to see Poseidon in action, I'll be releasing Poseidon gameplay video tomorrow or the day after, featuring an auto attack hybrid build in the ADC role, so stay tuned. Now you know exactly how to play Poseidon, let's talk about where you will be playing Poseidon. Poseidon is versatile and excels in certain roles. Poseidon is highly efficient in the mid lane, boasting strong wave clear, poke, and teamfight utility. His ability to control fights and zone enemies makes him a great choice in this role. With his high burst damage and mobility, Poseidon can jungle effectively. Proper tide management allows for quick jungle clears and strong gank potential. Poseidon can work as a hybrid ADC with a focus on intelligence and attack speed, but it requires a unique playstyle. He lacks traditional ADC sustain, but compensates with burst potential and zoning. And finally, Poseidon struggles in both solo and support due to his lack of tankiness and utility compared to traditional picks. While not impossible, these roles are not ideal for him. Moving on, we're going to talk about the builds. I can't give you an exact build for Poseidon as items in Smite 2 often go through changes, but I can tell you which stats to focus on and suggest some core items based on your role and playstyle. An ability-based build will work well in mid and jungle. Poseidon's core stats for an ability-based build are intelligence, cooldown reduction, and penetration. For intelligence, items like Book of Thoth, Doom Orb, and Rod of Tahuti provide excellent power and scaling. Cooldown reduction is key for frequent ability use. So items like Gem of Focus, Chronos Pendant, and Staff of Muradin are wonderful options. Finally, penetration is essential for cutting through enemy defenses, with Obsidian Shard, Rod of Tahuti, and Totem of Death being notable choices. Up next, though less popular, an auto attack / intelligence hybrid build can be achieved. For an auto attack focused build with intelligence scaling, start with a core item like Book of Thoth or Doom Orb for heavy damage. Lifesteal can enhance sustain, especially in the ADC role, with Bloodbound Book and Typhon's Fang being excellent options. Next, focus on intelligence and attack speed items with Braggy's Harp, Bracer of the Abyss, and Sunbeam Bow, maximizing both ability and auto attack damage. Finally, include penetration to handle tanky enemies, with Demonic Grip, Obsidian Shard, or Rod of Tahuti being strong options. Experiment with different item combinations to find which works best for your playstyle and team composition. The sky's the limit. And you've reached the end of the guide, but I wanted to leave you off with some additional tips to master Poseidon. Manage your tide meter. High tide boosts your movement speed and ability damage. Keep it high during fights and use basic attacks to regenerate it. Poseidon's damage output relies heavily on weaving basic attacks between abilities, especially when Trident is active. Positioning is key. Poseidon is immobile without Tide or Trident. Stay at a safe distance and use your abilities to zone enemies effectively. Maximize Release the Kraken. Aim to catch enemies in the center of the Kraken for maximum damage and crowd control. This can turn the tide of any fight. And finally, adapt your build. Poseidon's flexibility allows him to fit into multiple playstyles. Choose items that best complement your role and your team's needs, as well as your playstyle. And that's it for my Poseidon guide. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Smite 2 content. Don't forget to join my Discord for tips, questions, or just hanging out with other Smite players. And finally, follow me on Twitch to watch live gameplay and ask any questions directly. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it helpful, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye!